Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Zeus. Spring of 2018, I wanted to give you a little bit more of an introduction into the group project. Many people have expressed some kinds of concerns or interest in how this is going to go. And I wanted to do just a 5 or 10 minute kind of calm your sense of what's coming up. This week is set, week 7. I have asked you to go ahead and give me your top 3 choices for the emotional classes that you'll be working with. I have a full video telling you basically how to engage these things, but I wanted to meet some of the concerns that people have already expressed in emails and that have been expressed in past classes. So the first thing I want to say is simply this. As you can see, this is not your typical class. I'm engaging you and rewarding you for engaging your emotions, speaking in specific terms using I language rather than they language to really kind of get you into your own abilities to one, learn into your emotions and not see negative emotions as some kind of badge of shame, but as an interesting and powerful entry point into transforming your ability to communicate in relationships and so forth. So many of the stories that passed along and so many of the stories that you yourselves have written have been proof that this approach works. So just taking an academic approach and making that central instead of making your lives and relationships centrals and using academics to help flesh out and the Ekman book to help flesh that out. That's where I think the priority should be also in this group presentation. So again, we're going along the same mode. Many of you in this class and past classes have expressed not having a very good time in group projects. Oftentimes the complaints go along this. I do all the work and everyone else just kind of tags along, or it just didn't work at all. We didn't get along with each other. We couldn't find times to meet. So I'm going to try to make it very crystal clear and simple for you to enjoy yourselves, to learn a lot, to find a quick, easy central point to organize your thinking, and to actually go through the project a little bit itself. So let's get on with it. I only have 15 minutes. It's got to be less, and we're already up to 2. Okay? So like I'd already said, what the point of this is, and as I've said in your classes, when sharing your examples, trust yourself. Now in this group projects, you're going to have to trust yourself and trust each other. I'm making, again, it simple. As long as each one of the group members can contribute one significant thing to the project, I consider that person to be a fully fledged member. Okay? And like I'll talk to you about this as I go on, but there are different ways to apportion the individual contribution to the group project, but that comes later. Remember, I'm trying to develop the 4 C's again: critical mindedness, capability, compassion, and creativity. And those are going to be involved in this as well. Again, not typical of your classes, a lot of your other academic classes. I'd say the central theme in this is that the more difficult your background has been, in typical environments, work environments, family environments, you kind of hide that. In this environment, actually telling your story and showing your voice versus being silent. This is especially true around issues of abuse, if anyone's comfortable sharing that, or other issues that may not be as traumatic, arguments with boyfriends, husbands and wives, having too much on your plate, school, work, as well as full-time family. These are the grists for good projects where they become problematic. Some of you have turned in work late because you've had emergencies come up and you've had to deal with a whole bunch of emotions. That actually works for this group project. Those things that would take away from your life normally actually can be a story you offer into the group project. Something that created fear for you, anger for you, anxiety for you. Usually in other environments, you have to withhold that and deal with it on your own. And this one, you actually have that as a source and story to offer into this project. And you can have your group members help you understand how to learn into that. And again, transform the negative aspects of those emotions into positive ones. And that's the 2 main points here. So what else is there? Did I miss anything here? I think I'm just going to go ahead and make this one really simple. Everyone does their part, right? Have to show up. And oh, by the way, if you don't show up, for the group for whatever reason, you're gonna do the entire thing in paper form yourself. So it behooves you. And like I said, one significant contribution so that each part of the project is covered is all you need to do. And remember, I'm not making you do all this at once. We get the group together, okay, and a little bit on the group too. I'm doing my best to make all the things even. So there'll be 6 or 7 people per group because we have like 38 people in this class, okay? Not all of you will get your number 1 selection, but if you're flexible, or if your answer says that you're flexible, I've tended to put it into 2 groups that don't get a lot, which is the discuss group, which is great because on the other hand of discuss is gratitude and empathy. So the positive one is very powerful on that, and the other one is shame, guilt, and embarrassment. Again, the nice thing about this is all of you will be viewing the videos and commenting on one of the discussion boards, one insight that you learn from each one of these groups. It's not extensive, but it's enough where you can actually learn. If you don't get your emotion that you wanted to work on, you can learn from the other group presentations, and that will be part of the class as well. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put my face down at the corner here and basically show you the 3 places, okay? If you go onto the left sidebar of the Blackboard and Learn page, you'll see the group presentation description. I'll just look over that briefly at the very end, okay? And there is also a shortcut to discussion boards, okay? And an intro yourself and group presentation posting site. If you go to the shortcut to discussion boards, here's what you click on that right here. You'll notice that there is a discussion group here, and so far there are 0 enrolled members. When I have you assigned, I'm going to put each one of you onto one of these and send an email out to you. This is where you're going to share your contact information to the extent you're comfortable. If you're not comfortable sharing that, you can still engage in a conversation and contribute your work and go ahead and post it on these sites. Again, these sites come up once you're assigned under this notion of shortcut to discussion board. If you notice, your weekly discussion, weekly learning 1 and 2 is also here. This discussion boards are for your group. Now, if we go over here to posting sites, okay, it says shortcut to, it says intro and group presentation posting sites right here. If you click on that on the sideboard, you're going to come up with this. Okay, keep on. Here we are. Okay, if you scroll down, you're going to notice that each one of you, right, group 1 will post the presentation here. Group 2 will post a presentation here. So once you're done, and usually these take the form of a PowerPoint, usually with little audio inserts, stories. If you have a creative project or a poem that you want to add to it, or you're the one who's doing that as part of your group, you can copy and put that in there as well. And I talk more about this in depth on the video that talks more in specifics. Right now, this video is just to let you know what you have to click on, okay? And then finally, there is a group presentation description. And if you click on that, you'll have the actual group presentation description here, okay? I'm not gonna, I go over it more with the other thing. And I actually go through it here. Individual projects are only for the summer. We're only gonna be doing group projects now, okay? And again, no more than 15 minutes per presentation if you do a video. And if you do a PowerPoint, that's obviously not such an issue. So again, I'm going to just take this time. Let's say we have 8 minutes, almost 9 minutes. So I only have a few more minutes here to go. To simply use these 6 classes of emotion to show how you could transform these emotions in the context of actually doing your group project. Okay? A lot of times people have expressed sadness around group work, depression, or grief because 1, they weren't being heard, or sometimes 2, they were the ones doing the work and are sad that they didn't actually get what they needed out of it. Hopefully, by each one of you coming from your own problems and your own interests and able to contribute one significant thing, you guys will find this to be fun, create happiness, joy, and you'll find a way to care for each other. That's the thing I've noticed many of you coming out of this. Anxiety, again, what does a professor want? This seems like a really complex thing. These are the questions that come up here. And transforming that into serenity, clarity, and openness, I'm helping you do that with this video, but also letting you know, again, trust yourself, offer your own stories. This is the time to take the weight off, not put it on yourself. Take the expectation off and let your interest and desire to learn into your emotions flow. Anger, this is a common one in group projects when one person feels like they're doing all the work. So in order to transform anger into compassion, acceptance, and kindness, everybody needs to step up. And a lot of people don't step up because they're either shy about experiencing their feelings or they're overwhelmed with other things in their lives. Communicate clearly, pick something that really calls to you, and at least contribute one significant thing, and that will not be such an issue. And disgust, contempt, and arrogance, again, a lot of times that has to do with people not contributing. Again, I've not really had any experience of people having disgust or contempt to people's life situation. There's a lot of appreciation, empathy, and gratitude, and that's one of the real strengths of this group project. You find you're not the black sheep, you're not the weirdo. You actually have a lot in common with other people, and they really appreciate the courage to step forward and share your story. So that's usually not an issue there. Fear, insecurity, and abandonment, again, a lot of that is remedied by the fact that the isolation and alienation that comes with emotions that give rise to shame, guilt, and embarrassment are actually addressed in the context of a project that allows you to learn into them and share it with other people. So those are the main things to really do here. You can look over the job description. There are two main ways that people have done this. If people are more individually focused, they have a conversation in the discussion area, right? Remember, the discussion area is over here, okay? You could click on here, the discussion board area. You'll see your group, okay? And each one of them comes up with an introduction. Why did they choose that area? Then they share it. Each one of them describes the nature of the class of emotion. Each one of them does a little application and gets one article. And then they consolidate these together into a PowerPoint. That's one way of doing it. Or you can have different members of your group addressing different aspects of this, okay? One may be focusing more on the introduction. But again, the important thing is you have to share it with the other group members. Okay, and I allow time in the weekly discussion boards to work on these areas. So I'm not having you do all this at once. It's rolled out a little bit at a time. Okay, I have you do a couple of steps in the weekly discussion boards, so that actually you're building this project not just from the like immediately, but over time. Again, I'm very clear about that, and I want to be sure about that. So I think that should do it. I mean, that should give you a little bit of an understanding of how I'm coming at this. The three places to post: the assignment description place, the discussion where you share your group information and begin the discussion on your group, and the place to post them so other people can see. All of those in the left sidebar. I'm going to go over that real quick again, just so you know. I only got 2 minutes left to go here now, okay? So they're all here. There's the final project presentation. Click up here, okay? There is the group discussion board posting sites right here. This is where you post them, all the way down here, and it gives you instructions. And finally, there is the discussion board links. I will sign you up under your group after I've signed them, and then you can go ahead and share your information here. Now, I will go ahead and pick these groups. You might not, like I said, get all your best first choices, but I will go ahead and let you know how I've assembled these and do my best to bring those things together. No matter what you pick, you'll all have an opportunity to see each other's presentation and learn something that you're really focusing on right now. Okay? So that's going to come to you. Just do your best, trust yourself, and trust each other. Until then, this is Zeus Yamianis, Dr. Zeus, signing off, and thank you for watching. Bye.